What is the state in React? Next question. What is a state in React and how is it used? This is the question. States are the heart of the React components. States are the source of data and must be kept as simple as possible, right? Basically, states are the objects which determine components rendering and behavior. Simply variables. States are nothing but variables. Okay. So we are going to define username, password, or else ID, name, quantity, price. So this is all where we are going to define state level only, right? So here states are the heart of React components. React components. States are the source of data and must be kept as simple as possible. Basically, states are the objects which determine components determine components rendering and behavior. They are mutable unlike the props and create dynamic and interactive components. They are accessed via this dot state. So this is the simplest kind of way you need to explain. What are the different phases of React component lifecycle? This is another kind of question. So what are the different phases of React components life cycle. So here initial rendering phase, updating phase, unmounting phase, like that. There are the three types are there. So there are three different phases of React components life cycles. Okay, what are that one? Number one, initial rendering phase. Initial rendering phase. This is the phase when the component is about to start its life journey and make it is way to the DOM. So simply this is the one stage. Second stage is updating phase. Once the component gets added to the DOM, it can potentially update and re-render only when a prop or state are changed. This kind of phase is executed. Next, another kind of one is unmounting phase. This is the final phase of the component life cycle in which component is destroyed and removed from the DOM. That is the cases level it is going to be executed. This is another kind of one. Next, another kind of question is, nowadays people are not asking, but whether you are aware or not, checking purpose, people are going to ask me another kind of question is, explain the life cycle methods of React component in detail. Okay, explain the life cycle methods of React components in detail, like that people are going to ask me. You need to explain component will mount to, component did mount to, component will receive props to, should component update to, component will update to, component did update to, right? Component will unmount to, like that 7 life cycle, class component life cycle. Okay, class, just I'm going to mentioning here. What is the method? Component will mount. That is the one you need to remember. And component did mount. Next, component will receive props. Another one is should component update. Next, component will update. Next, component did update. Next, component will unmount. These kind of methods you need to explain. Do some kind of R&D. Each and every method, one line you need to add. Okay. So another kind of question is, what is an event in a React? Next question is, what is an event in React? In React, events are the triggered reactions to a specific actions like a mouse over, mouse click, key press, right? On click event, right? On change. Handling these events are similar to handling events in the DOM, but there are some syntactical differences there. But events are named using camel cases instead of just using the lowercase. Events are passed as a function instead of string. Okay, so on click like that. Okay, so I'm going to say answer is here. In React, events are the triggered reactions to specific actions like mouse over, comma, mouse click, okay, and key press, etc. Handling these events are similar to handling events of DOM. Handling these events are similar to handling events in DOM. Elements. Okay. The event argument contains a set of properties which are specific to an event. Suppose we are going to using the delete button. So whenever I'm going to click the delete button, I need to pass the ID as a method parameters, right? So sometimes we are going to using parameters also. So this is the way you need to answer. So simple way I'm going to provide it here. What is an event? What are the synthetic events in the React? Like that people are asking the question. You are not here this synthetic kind of word. So synthetic events are the objects. So if you are not aware any kind of thing, everything is considered as an object. Okay, synthetic events are the object. That is the first answer, which act as a cross-browser wrapper around the browser native events. They combine the behavior of the difference between into the one API. This is done to make sure that the events show consider properties across different browsers? Simple answer is synthetic events are the objects which act as a cross-browser wrapper. That's enough. What is synthetic events in React? People are asking. 13th question. What are synthetic events in React? So you need to answer synthetic events are the objects which act as a cross browser wrapper among the browser's native events. So what do you understand by refs in the React? What do you understand by navigator? Like that people are asking. You know that one. Navigator is what is the purpose? You are going to, whenever you are going to click product list level update based on that ID, it is going to move to the product update kind of component. Navigating one component to another kind of component, navigation purpose, use navigate you are using, right? So similarly, reference also in shorthand of reference, that one. It's an attribute which help to store a reference to a particular React element. For example, ID value, I need to maintain one particular variable level. We are going to use in the use ref we are going to use it. So like that, if I'm going to writing a number of questions, it is going to raising. So use navigate to use ref, what is the purpose, life cycle, functional component, life cycle methods also. You need to read. Okay, you need to read that one. But here list some of the cases when should use the use ref. I'm going to mention it. Okay, so use ref, when to use, people are going to ask it. List some of the cases when you should use refs. So this is the question. So that is the cases level you need to answer when you need to manage focus and comma select test or media playback. Next, another one is to trigger imperative animations. Next, another one is integrate with third party DOM libraries. So these kind of things you need to remember that one. What are the higher order component, like that? Sometimes people are going to ask the question, interview question. Another kind of question is what are higher order components? So you people are already learned the scenario based applications, but whenever people are asking this kind of a question, you may get the confusion, right? That's the reason I'm going to explaining question and answer. Higher order component is an advanced way of reusing the component logic. Higher order means reusing the component logic. Basically, it's a pattern that is derived from React compositional nature. Okay, so don't confuse that one. If anyone is asking higher order component means suddenly you are getting a shock. What is this higher order? Higher order component is an advanced way of reusing the component logic. Okay, so you need to answer this kind of way. How to answer this question? You need to answer like this. Higher order component is an advanced way of reusing the component logic. Okay, basically it's a pattern. Basically, it's a pattern that is derived from React's compositional nature. Okay, higher order component are custom components. HOC means higher order components. HOC are custom components which wrap another component within it. At least you need to remember this one, within it. So what is the higher order component? Higher order component is a custom component. It wrap up another kind of component within it. They can accept any dynamically provided child component, but they won't modify a copy of any behavior from their inputs. You don't worry that much. Simple kind of you need to remember at least. Higher order components are nothing but a custom components. So that component, one component level, another kind of component we are going to wrap up. That is nothing but a higher order component. That's it. What can you do with higher order component? That's the another kind of question people are going to ask me. Okay. So what is the question we are going to facing? What can you do with higher order component? So higher order component can be used for many tasks. What are that one? I'm going to explaining. Higher order can be used for many tasks. Like I'm going to providing code reuse, logic, and boot startup, abstraction. Another one is render hijacking. Next, another one is state abstraction and manipulation. Next, props manipulations. Props are immutable, but a component within another kind of component, global variable, local variable, how we are going to use in the JavaScript. That kind of way we are going to manipulating. So that's why I'm going to say props here. I'm going to mentioning props manipulation. So props manipulation, this is the way it is going to do this one. So what are the pure components? Sometimes people are going to ask him, pure components are the simplest and fastest components. I'm not using any word pure component. Simply component only we are going to discussing. Component types are class component, functional component we are going to discuss. But I'm not saying anywhere throughout the sessions pure, right? But interview level people are asking what are pure components. Pure components are the simplest and fastest component which can be written. They can replace any component which only has a render method. Okay, so simply pure components means what? Simple and fastest components we can call as a pure components. So while listening that sentence, if anyone is using the new terminology, you may get afraid, you may get tension. So that's the reason I'm going to explaining all these kind of things. Next, another kind of question is important. What were the major problem with the MVC framework? Major problem is MVC framework means model view component. So some of the problems are there. What is that one? DOM manipulation was very expensive. Applications were slow and inefficient. There was hug memory wastage because of crucial dependencies. So some drawbacks are available in the normal MVC kind of applications level. Okay, so MVC applications level, what are the drawbacks are available? So here question number is 17. I'm going to say, what were the major problems with MVC framework? Framework means a set of libraries is nothing but a framework. Okay, a set of libraries is nothing but a framework. So here some of the drawbacks are available. What are the drawbacks? DOM manipulation was very expensive. That is the number one. Next applications were slow and inefficient. That is the another kind of drawback. Next, there was hug memory wastage. Okay, there is a hug memory wastage because of circular dependency. A complicated model was created around models and view. That is the drawback is available in the MVC. Okay, just your understanding purpose. Next, another kind of one is, what is Redux? What is the Redux? Third party state management. We are already discussed it. Counter we are going to using increment or decrement functionality. How to upgrade it, we are discussed that one, right? We are already discussed. What is Redux? What is Redux? Redux is one of the hottest libraries for front-end development in today's marketplace. It is a predictable state container for JavaScript applications and is used for the entire applications state management. Applications developed with Redux are easy to test and can run in different environment, showing the consistent kind of behavior. That is also you can able to add. Okay, so this is the related to Redux. Next, some other kind of things also people are going to asking. Why I'm going to explaining this kind of questions is, each and every topic I'm explaining with the scenario and different kind of meaning, different kind of words people are asking, you may get the confused. That is the avoiding purpose. If anything is not covered through this one, I'm going to explaining. So that's the reason I'm going to explaining these kind of things. So we are going to see some of the related kind of questions in the Redux also in the tomorrow, and we are going to wind up. We are going to wind up the sessions. Few more questions also we are going to discussing.